Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Yeah, today I wanted to get to the questions that Kathy asked me in an earlier video about people in power and how it's catalyzing change within society. I think it's a very good question. It's a very profound one, and I have no idea where it's going to go, where it's going to take me, what's going to happen with it. But I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. But I wanted to talk first about this issue or this incident that happened a couple of nights ago. I had been my sleeping patterns got completely knocked out of whack, cattywampus, if you will. And excuse me. Um, I woke up in the night on Saturday night, um, and I had like this massive energy surge, and I wasn't expecting it. I had no idea why it happened, and I was sitting there laying in bed, and I was just shaking. I was like, you know, because I just this energy, just like it's like, you know, it's not like being electrocuted or something or having like bolts of energy surge through you. It is really, it's like more of a spiritual, it's more on a spiritual level, something, just massive coming about and happening. And you're sitting there and you're wondering, wow, what is going on here? Why is this happening the way it is? And so I was just like, I was kind of gobsmacked by it, and I posted that message to the channel in the post section about this energy surge that happened, and I put a timestamp on it so that in case something had happened in the news that might explain this, I would at least know if there was any connection to it, because I really didn't know, and I'm trying to figure out if there was something connected to that in relation to the events that are going on in the world. And maybe this actually connects to Kathy's question about the catalyzing of change and the catalyzing of moving into this sort of place where we are right now, where we do see or sense that things are going on or things are happening, and we have to kind of raise our vibrations and we have to do all of these things. And as soon as it happened, I asked my guides, I said, "Are you guys sending me a message?" And they said yes, that they were, in fact, sending me a message, but I could not ascertain what that message was. So all I could do was, I'm going to pull my yes and no cards. I'm going to ask if what I felt was a spiritual message being sent to me. Was this a spiritual message being sent to me? I think that it's yes. I think that there was a spiritual message being sent, but I have no idea what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just say, was there a spiritual message being sent through this energy surge? Was this a spiritual message being sent with this energy surge? And I got a blank card. So what was it? What was it? If it wasn't an energy surge, and if there wasn't something going on in the world that caused it or created it, why did it happen? Why did I have that experience where I suddenly woke up and I was like this and not sure what was going on? So if it wasn't if it wasn't an energy surge or of a spiritual nature, then what was it? Were my guides sending me a message? Were my guides sending me a message through that energy surge? Were my guides sending me a message? Were my guides sending me a message? And it said no. Um, then this was something other than my guides. Okay. Was this a message from the other side? Was this a message from the other side? I am trying. Oops, hard down. I'm trying to figure out what all this is about, what this all means, because something happened. Something happened. So was this a message from the other side? Was somebody sending me a message from the other side? I mean, the energy itself was very loving. So it was not a negative energy. It was a loving energy, but it was very, very powerful. So was this an energy? Was this a message from the other side? Was somebody trying to contact me from the other side with this? And it says no. And I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what happened. I'm getting basically that it wasn't a spiritual message. Was this in my imagination? I mean, it could. Was this my imagination in overdrive? Was it my imagination in overdrive? My imagination in overdrive. Well, whenever I do that, the cards flip around everywhere. Yes. Okay. So my imagination was in overdrive. But then that leaves me to wonder about the idea of imagination because sometimes I've heard psychics and I've heard other people say this that if it's in your imagination, then it is real. And that means that whenever you're doing something or whenever you are getting a message from that just becomes self-inspired. It's like the idea of you're thinking about a person and then they call you. You're sending out those vibes that you're thinking about this individual and then they call you or they message you or whatever. This happened to my husband yesterday. He was thinking about a friend of his and then he got an email last night from this friend that he hadn't heard from in a while. So, yeah, it does happen. There is like that sort of psychic connection between people where that comes in and it's how. And then I just got a thought, and while I was talking about this, I got a thought that maybe Fred Rogers was sending me a message. And my guides just said, yes, 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 yes. That is what happened. Mr. Rogers was sending me a message in the night. Maybe I hadn't talked to him enough in a while and, connected with him or whatever. But he was sending me a message, and it was a very strong, loving energy surge that came to me. So, was it, was this, was this Fred Rogers? Was this Mr. Rogers sending me a message? Was he telling me something with this message? And then I'm going to pull tarot and see what the message was exactly or what I can infer from it because I think that's really important. And then finally, I'll do read on Kathy's message because that kind of connects everything together. That kind of everything comes full circle here. So, was this Mr. Rogers sending me a message through this energy? Somebody was sending me a message. I just get the somebody was sending me a message, but my guides have said Fred Rogers and another blank card. So no, no, yes. Okay. Um, I'm gonna try and figure this out. I mean, there was a message. There was a message that was sent. So maybe through the tarot I'll be able to find out who sent the message and what the message was. Because I think this is important. Oh, one of my cards is on the floor here. The blank card was on the floor. Okay, there. So the idea is spiritually, we're all energy. We are all connected to the source. That we are connected to the divine source, which is that energy. And 2 nights ago, I got a pretty much a jolt of energy, and it was it was pretty intense because I woke up and I was shaking just from the energy. I have no idea from who, if it wasn't Fred Rogers and that this energy came from, who was it? I have no idea. But it said that it wasn't him, but yet my guide said in my mind that it was. So I'm getting mixed signals. And my sunshine just said, your life is full of mixed signals. So yes, it is. My life is full of mixed signals, but at any rate. So let's see. I'm going to pull first on that question of the message that I got, two nights ago. And then I'm going to pull on Kathy's question because it's, yeah, like I said, it kind of comes full circle with that. So we are getting messages from the other side. A lot of people, a lot of psychics, a lot of intuitives are getting messages from the other side telling us, that everything's going to be okay and that we're going to get through all this difficult times. But let's see. Let's see what the cards have to say. Like I said, stop shuffling and start drawing. Okay. So what I got, let me turn the cards around because then that makes it a little bit easier. What I got first is the Six of Wands. Now, I pulled this card when I was still pulling on Colbert about the stage and about the people in the audience watching the person on stage. And that's kind of the feel that I get. We are, in essence, watching all of these things play out before us. We are seeing things play out, and we are kind of pondering what we can do individually with regards to it. And I think that this card is basically the idea of our guides are watching us, and they are trying to help us get through these difficult times. They are sending us messages. We are getting messages. I got an energy surge. We are getting messages in our minds. We hear things. We hear voices in our mind. And if I accomplish anything with this channel, I want to help people realize that they can get messages as well through their subconscious mind. And the thing is, this is the message that we are getting is we have our guides who are here, and we are here wondering if we're actually getting the right message or if the message is coming through for us. And I think that this card actually says that we are getting a message. There is a message coming forward. We may not know exactly what that message is, but we are getting a message. There is something coming, and something is coming forward. So, is it about what's going on in the news? I still don't know. I still don't know. But it is saying, it is basically this shouting out to us saying, I am here, and I am here to help you. And you can either hear me and listen and heed what I'm saying, or you can walk away. And this is the choice that we have, whether or not we walk away or whether or not we stay and contend with it. It's crossed by the King of Wands. Still, yeah. Okay, here we go. King of Wands. And the King of Wands, and I'm going to pull my little cheat sheet here. The King of Wands is about strong and optimistic energy. So this is the energy that I got from the other night when I had that energy surge. This is the energy that I got, that strong, optimistic, encouraging energy that says everything's going to be okay, you're going to be fine, and all is going to be well. It doesn't necessarily mean that we just sit on our hindquarters and not do anything. I mean, we can still go and we can protest, or we can make our voices heard, or we can, have people come out and, and tell us, um, that what we're doing is making a difference. Like the friend of mine with the theater. This is the difference that we are making. This is that energetic optimism that is coming forward. Underlying everything is the Two of Wands. This is the decision. Which direction do I go? Am I going to fall into in the depths of despair, or am I going to move forward and see if I can find a way out of the mess that I'm in? Okay. And their guides are here. They're meeting us here, and they're saying, here, you have an option here or here. You can go one way or the other, and we're going to be with you regardless, and we're going to guide you through it, and we're going to make sure that you are okay, or that you're on stable ground as you move forward. In the immediate past, we have the High Priestess. This is that feminine energy. And a lot of times, I think that what's going on with this is how are we going to my guides are screaming, decide, decide, decide. How are we going to choose? What we're going to do here will bring us to here. It will bring us to that heightened sense of spiritual awareness, of awakening, of what's going to bring us upward and beyond all of the things that are physically happening around us. Because we have our consciousness, we have our subconsciousness, and we have our superconsciousness. And all of the things that make up our spiritual self are sort of layered with my guides are saying you are a three-layered cake, and you have all of these abilities that you can take with you, and you can decide how you're going to move forward. And you can move to the higher sense of consciousness, or you can move to the Five of Wands energy where there's chaos and struggle and, all of these things. So what you decide will determine whether or not you come to this higher state of consciousness. And I think I'm kind of channeling this because it's like I can't really I don't know if it's making any sense. I don't know if this makes any sense at all. I'm just telling what my guides are telling me as I read this, and this is the first time this ever happened to me, really, where I'm looking at the cards and I'm going, okay, this is what this means, or this is how I interpret it, because I'm not really interpreting it. I feel like my guides are telling me what I'm saying, what I'm supposed to say, and then I'm just blabbing it out. So if this makes absolutely no sense, then I'm sorry. It makes no sense. Because to me, it makes no sense. I'm sitting here blabbing all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, but this is what I'm getting. The overarching energy is the Nine of Wands. We are tired. We are weary. We are at our wits' end with all of this. We don't want to deal with it anymore. We really do not want to deal with this anymore. We want to move on. We want to move on to greener pastures. We want to move on to our higher sense of self, what have you. But in order to reach that upper plateau, if you will, we have to keep going. And we're tired. We are exhausted. We do not want to keep going, but we have to. And it's like that sort of that spiritual force that's kind of just pushing us forward, pushing us forward, pushing us forward. And this is what this is. This is the the energy that we are really exhausted, but somehow adrenaline is pushing us forward and we're moving forward, and our guides are with us and they're helping us along and they're moving us forward. In the immediate future, we have the Nine of Swords. This is the sleepless nights. This is me not sleeping at night. This is typical. This is when I got that energy surge, I was unable to go to sleep. And then suddenly, and I felt like I was being electrocuted. Well, not electrocuted. I don't know what it feels like to be electrocuted. So, but but it was that sense, that feeling of I can't sleep. I keep thinking about all this nonsense that's going on. I keep thinking about this, that, and the other. What is going on? Am I sleeping too much? Am I sleeping too late in the morning? All this brain activity that's just going on, that's keeping me up at night. And this is what we're kind of dealing with. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? How can I handle the situation? And we have to come back to like the sort of center where we no longer are thinking about what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? But rather thinking about just moving forward. Our hopes and fears is the disappointment, heartbreak, and the sadness. We are sitting here in a S show, if you will, and we are not sure where it's going to go. We are heartbroken. We are saddened. We are, we're seeing the this is the we are seeing this tragedy unfold before our eyes, and we are powerless to do anything about it. That is how we're feeling with regards to all of this. This is what is going on. This is the emotional burden of all of this, is this heartbreak. And yeah, these are some very dark cards, and I see it, and I see what's going on. I see that we are really in the depths of despair at the moment, and we are dealing with that sorrow because we are in grief. We are in grief. We're seeing what's going on in the world, and we are in grief. We are in endless grief about all of the things that are happening in the world, and how we have no real power to change any of it. And we would if we could, but we can't. And so our guides are like telling us, look, you are in this place for a reason. And you don't understand it. You're saddened by it and you're coping with it. But you really need to um, allow yourself to feel the power and the energy that the guides are trying to give to you. We are getting messages from the other side. And the messages are filled with hope and love and peace and things like that, which is what we need because it's so contrary to what's going on in the world right now. And so we are in this place right now where we are trying to find some level of peace. And the guides are coming out and they're saying, okay, I'm going to send you a bolt of energy that will give you a little bit of optimism. I'm going to send you that so that you will recognize and you will remember that you are, to your core, a spiritual being. And you are special, that you matter in this world. And that's what they're telling us. Contrary to all of this, you matter and you are special. And that is what they're saying. We know you're tired. We know you're tired and weary. We know you're heartbroken and you are not sleeping at night because all of this stuff is so overwhelming for you. And they're saying, rise above it. Rise above that pain and sorrow. How other people see you is they see you as the magician. People are looking at the light workers around the world and they're saying they've got something that we really want. They've got some power within themselves, within ourselves, because I'm one too. They have the power. And they wish that they could understand that power and they wish that they could embrace that power. But they've been so trapped in this dark energy that all they can do is look upon the person or the people that are light workers and say, I wish I had what they had. I wish I had the optimism. I wish I had the hope. I wish I had the friendships, the community, the things that the light workers have. I wish I had that, but I don't. And how do I find it? And that's what they're seeing. Then we get the Knight of for the hopes and what they wish for is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is the emotional energy, the idealist. There's a celebratory feel about this card. And this is what we're all hoping for. We're hoping for that moment where we can come step up and we can celebrate and we can be happy and we can hope that things will change, that things will get better, that we will overcome. You know, there's a song, We Shall Overcome. I do believe we shall overcome. And that's what this is. This is to me, this is signifying. And the final outcome, you're going to be happy with this, the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is the celebration, the joy. So once we get through all of this stuff, once we get through all of this, we got this to look forward to. We have the finding peace and finding serenity with our families, with our friends, with our communities, all of these things. The Ten of Cups is the ultimate family connection card. It is the card that says, we are going to get through this and we are going to come out on top. And that's what the message was. The message was, in essence, with that energy, what I'm getting is the message was that we will overcome all of these things and we will work through it and we will enjoy the fruits of our labor and the hope and the encouragement that we need. But we have to first walk through this kind of darkened place before we can find our way to the hope and the to the hope and the encouragement that we need in the coming days. So this is what I'm getting. And here, these are, I just split the deck and I got the the Nine of Wands and the Six of Wands. And that's that we're tired and we're hoping to find someone to help lead us through this trajectory, I guess you could say. So that's what I got there. And so I'm kind of understanding now a little bit better that regardless of who the message came from, it doesn't really matter who it came from, but the message was clear. The message was, we will overcome this, but we have to also nurture that light within ourselves. And that is probably the most significant lesson that there is, that we have to nurture the love and the light that's within all of us in order to get through these dark times. But once we do, then we'll have that Ten of Cups moment where we'll have the happy families and the joy and the we'll have the joy and the and the and the happiness that we need. And I think this is for all of us. I think this is not just for me getting the energy, but this is for all of us together as a unified force, that we are getting this message that we are power and that we are the good that we seek. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to Kathy's question, and it says, people in power are abusing their power. Will that be a catalyst for change? And then she went on to ask, what can we do about it? So I think that kind of, the last reading kind of sort of answered that second part of that question. What can we do about it? We embrace our light, we embrace our goodness, we embrace our hope, and we, if we have to step away from the news media, if we have to step away from YouTube, if we have to step away from even psychics and readers to kind of find our balance, then that's what we have to do. And I mean, I watch a lot of political tarot on YouTube, and there are days when I just don't feel like watching any of it, and I kind of back off and I say, okay, I'm not going to do this. And that's what this is about. That is that's why I stopped reading really solely political stuff, because I need to find a balance for myself. And I'm thinking, I see all the political tarot readers, and I'm like going, yeah, they're doing the thing, and and why should I put myself into that energy if someone else has already done it and they've already given a reading on it? I mean, do I really need to find any sort of validation for what they have read on already, or can I just move on to something else? And so that's what the idea is that we have that validation, and um, we are doing it. So this is, will the abuse of power create a catalyst for change? That's the question. Will the abuse of power create a catalyst for change? Now, I think it already is. I mean, when you look at what's going on, when you see what's happening in Chicago and what's happening in Portland, Oregon. And Portland is such a beautiful city. I love Portland. I've been to Portland twice. I love the city. It's got such a hippie vibe to it. It's so great. I love Portland. I mean, if I were ever to go back to the U.S., I would go to Portland because I love it. It's just so fantastic. It's just a great town, a great city. And it's got more microbreweries than any other place in the US. Like IPA, I'm on there. Okay. So so is this are the people in power abusing the people abusing their power, are they creating a catalyst for change? Will this action of abuse of power create a catalyst for change? Here we go. Ah, that's okay. Oh, my guide said okay, use those two. Okay. So the first card is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is about active and energetic. We're seeing this happen coming out of the chute. We're seeing all this stuff happening. We're seeing the abuse of power. We're seeing this happen, and we're actively calling it out. We are saying that we are not going to put up with it, and that we do not like it, and that if you keep doing this, then you're going to get voted out, and that things are going to happen, and people are going to rise up. And that's what this tells me. It's crossed with the high priestess. I think this is the people. The people, they're rising up. I mean, when you look at this card and you see her, the thought that I had was like a trapeze artist. When I look at this card, I think of a trapeze artist, someone who is like hanging from high above us, and they are creating something beautiful through the artistry of their movement and of their artistry of their actions. And this is also the spiritual. This is the like in the other reading, I got the high priestess as well, and the high priestess is that, looking at all of this stuff and seeing it, maybe not exactly reacting on it, but looking at it and seeing it and being able to rise above it. And I think that's how I feel about this particular card in this particular instance. The high priestess is like the spiritual, the uplifting of our consciousness and of our ideas, and looking at, seeing the evil that's going on, but also being able to rise above it, to break out from it. The underlying energy is the Seven of Wands. This is like, well, the immediate thought that comes to my mind when I look at this card is they're trying to defend the undefendable, indefensible. They're trying to, this guy's trying to, look at all these people here who have their wands, and they're trying to break down the door. They're trying to come in. And this is what I see. This person is the person abusing his power, and he's holding the wand, and he's going, I'm going to try and defend this. I'm going to try and defend my place and my space. But everybody, this is all the people that are coming in, and they're saying, no, no, you are not going to keep abusing your power. We are going to break you down. And that is what is happening. What I see happening here is that the more these people break the law, the more they abuse their power and try to force other people into capitulation, the stronger the people are becoming. It's the same thing that happened with Jimmy Kimmel. It's the same thing that's happening with Disney. People are actually still boycotting Disney because they capitulated to the regime. And people are recognizing now that they have the power because they're not throwing more money at the fat cats. They are actually buying locally. They're going to farmers markets. They're doing the things. They're not going to the big chain stores and the big online, like Amazon and stuff like that. They're not going to those places. They're actually going to the mom and pop places now. And they're saying, "Oh, I recognize now that I have the economic power." And they're embracing that economic power. They're embracing their individual needs and wants. And they're saying, do I really need or want this? Or is it just more stuff to clutter up my attic? And now people are recognizing it. And this is that's why the abuse of power, what happened with Jimmy Kimmel was the abuse of power came in, and the people knew that this was wrong. They knew that it was not the best thing to do. And then they decided to fight back. And so they decided that they were going to use what power they had, which was where they were going to give out their money. And they were going to decide, do I need this? Do I need, really do I need to buy this stuff? Do I really need to be a consumer of all these things that I may not necessarily need? And that's what people are recognizing, and they're saying, I don't need all this stuff. I don't. I don't need to buy. I don't need to have DoorDash every day or this, that, or the other. I just need to stop feeding the beast. And that's what they're doing. And they're ceasing to feed this particular beast. And I think that is catalyzed. That is a catalyst for change because they are saying we do not need these material things because we know that when we go and give out all this stuff, this money for all this stuff, that we are actually enabling this. It's like an abusive relationship. And they know that there's an enabler happening and they're enabling this to happen and they're recognizing it and they're saying, no, we're going to put a stop to this. We're not going to enable this to happen anymore. These oligarchs are very, very rich because they were able to manipulate the things that people bought. They were able to close down mom and pop shops in local communities because everybody went online and bought on Amazon. And now people are recognizing we don't need that. We do not need that. So yes, it is catalyzing change. It is catalyzing something more economic than anything else because people are finally deciding we're going to put our money into something that is we're going to put our money into something that is more conducive to our way of thinking, our way of believing. In the immediate past, this couldn't be more apropos. The Four of Pentacles. This is the hoarder. This is the oligarchs of the world who are hoarding all this money, and they're providing these services. They're providing the streaming services. They're providing Amazon. They're providing all of these companies, the WalMarts, these places where people go and consume. These are the people that were holding all the money. And they were being enabled by the populace who was going and buying everything. So people are now recognizing them for the misers that they are. This is the miser card. This is that rich fat cat card where people are deciding that they're not going to do give out their money for stuff that they don't want to give money out for. So this is that catalyst happening. That this is what people are seeing in these oligarchs. This is what they're seeing. Some schmuck holding all this money and saying it's mine, 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 and these people have enabled it for years and years and years, and now they're stopping. The stock prices are going down. The oligarchs aren't getting as rich as they were because people have decided that they will have a power, and they are embracing that power because they're tired of seeing the system being abused. The overarching energy is the Ten of Wands. Yes, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to make this decision, but people are willing to make the decision to stop buying, to use their purchasing power to create the change that they want to see. And this is really, really a massive, massive indicator here that they are choosing. I don't need the extra deck of tarot cards from Amazon. I don't need to go to a German Doctor Who convention because it's too expensive. This is me making the decision. I do not need this. I do not need to buy. I can buy generic food. I can buy a can of corn that's generic and pay 99 cents for it, as opposed to buying a high level, high brand can of corn for €2. I am making the choices, and I am deciding what is important to me, for me, in my own everyday life. What is important to me? What can I do? And what is my intentions overall? And then I decide. In the immediate future, we have the Temperance card. And this is where everything comes to a calming. People have made their decisions, and this is the calming after the storm. This is the calm that's saying, okay, we're not going to buy this stuff. We're not going to, and I think that most of the stuff, most of the catalyst for change is happening on an economic level. This is what the cards are indicating to me, that all of this is happening because it's an economic thing. And it's us deciding to not feed or fuel the people who are in part responsible for the shenaniganery that's going on. Look at so Kathy, since you're the one asking the question, look at what you're doing in Canada. Elbows up. You are deciding not to buy products from the U.S. You are deciding not to vacation in the U.S. You are deciding not to do anything to support the U.S. And you are feeling at peace because you have made that decision. That is what's going on. The people are making the decisions to not buy from these big companies, to not enable these oligarchs to abuse the system. And there's a sense of peace that kind of surpasses all understanding, if you will, that's creating that it's creating that sort of level where people are saying, I feel at peace with my decision. I feel a calm in my decision to make that. I feel a sense of calm right now. An absolutely amazing sense of calm has just washed over me. And it's absolutely amazing. I wish I could just give it all to you and share it with you because it's so amazing. I just felt total calm. It's absolutely amazing. It's like my guides are telling me, yes, you are on the right track here. What you are doing and what you're saying is the right track. It is what's going on. The calm is so amazing. It's like the energy is so amazing. Fabulous energy. Um, hopes and fears is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is about self-inflicted punishment, basically. But the thing is, you're not being punished for doing this. You're freeing yourself. And what this card is people say that this is this is any kind of bondage or whatever that you are feeling, it can be broken out of, and it is not going to restrain you or restrict you because you have the power to break out of that. And that's what this card comes across for me as. Um, how other people see you is the Knight of Wands. And we had the Knight of Wands in the other reading, and I'll read it again, what it says. The Knight of Wands is swift movement and confident. No, we didn't have the Knight of Wands. We had the Knight of Cups, I think. But this is confidence. This is surging forward and saying, okay, I'm going to do this with confidence, and um, I'm going to, I'm going to kind of maintain this with a confident swagger. That's the word that the guides gave me. Swagger. Canadians saying no. People not going to Disneyland. People deciding to, um, people deciding instead to save their money and fly to Spain, or not, not utilize these things that they otherwise might do. Um, there's a sense of swagger. There's a sense of, yeah, we may feel restrained by what's going on, but we are confident that we can move forward and overcome all of the things that these people have imposed upon us. Hopes, your wishes and hopes is the Nine of Pentacles. This is having everything you need. This is the card of having everything that you need. Everything is at the ready. Everything is right there, and you are able to come out of all of these things in a better place. Final outcome is the Fool. This isn't about being foolish. This is about being free. This is about somebody who says, I'm taking a step off the cliff to see if something's going to affect change in my life or what have you. This is an absolutely great card for this reading. This is the this is taking not being afraid to take a step forward and not being afraid of what's going to happen to you when you do. There's not anything foolish about the fool stepping out. This is a faith, and this is the trust that the people have, not only in themselves, but in their guides, in their spiritual selves, in their awareness, in their awakening of all of the things that are going on. The fool is the one who takes the leap of faith and says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try it, and I'm going to see what happens. That's what I got. So, yeah, we know what's going on. We know what's happening, and we know that whatever is going on in the world, we do have a choice. Nobody can force us to buy products. Nobody can force us to support a government where they're abusing their power. Nobody can force us to capitulate to a streaming service or to any kind of thing. So my read on it is, you see somebody abusing their power, then you know that you have the power because you have your pocketbook. And basically, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could go to protest, you can do all that stuff, but the language that these people speak is money. And when that gets cut off from them, then they lose their power over you. So that is what I got. And I hope that that answers the question. It was a great question. It's a great read. Um, so, thanks a lot for the question. And thank you for listening. I know that this is much longer than than my usual videos, but I really had a lot to say today, and I hadn't said very much in the last few days anyway, so kind of making up for it. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you have a great start to the new week. And again, I hope this answered the questions, but I think it did. I think that this is where we're at. So take care, stay strong, and I'm holding you in the light. And as always, namaste.